pardon y'all, I don't wanna step on y'all toes. I separate the authentic from the replica flows. And the kid be places you could never be at, so that can never be this, and this can never be that. These niggas got some audacity, sell some records just as fast as me, or sell some tickets out as fast as me, motherfucker. Yes, I am often imitated.
Yes, he is often imitated,
but I am never
duplicated. And I'm happy to present to you my second collaborative video. This one is with the young OG. I had previously made a guide to Rev30 jerseys, but I've actually found someone who knows even more than me about them. So he has, most of his collection is Rev30s, so he should know a thing or two. Without further ado, let's get into it.
What up YouTube? It's me, the young OG. I'm teaming up with my man J-Mac the Fanatic to talk about my favorite type of jersey. You can see them here already, the Adidas Rev30s. I have a lot of them now. I don't want to call myself an expert or someone who knows everything about them, no. Because I'm sure there's people out there that actually know more or bought them back in the day when they came out, so they might have, you know, good memories. But I got like 50 or 60 of these already, probably even more. Some of them are the same team, same design, but I still feel like I can talk a lot and talk about different things. Now J-Mac has done a video already, which is a good introduction to Rev30s in my opinion. He covered all the basics, and now we wanna talk about details. So the first thing I'm gonna talk about is something that I don't have, at least not anymore. It's fake Rev30s. These exist. They are not super, you know, popular, or they don't exist that much, but there was a Kobe Bryant Rev30 on eBay. The auction ended yesterday, like literally last night. I didn't check the final price, but the bidding the listing started at 250, and I saw one guy bid, so one guy definitely got screwed out of a lot of money, and I don't want that to happen to anyone else. So I'm gonna talk about a few things, how to recognize a Kobe, not just the Kobe, but I think the most popular fakes are Kobe, LeBron, Wade, and then some others. I gotta admit, even I fell for some fakes to maybe a year ago. One Blake Griffin, one Kevin Durant. I'm gonna show them. I still have the pictures. Luckily I got a refund, but yeah, let's start with this Kobe. Now I'm just gonna say it's not so easy to spot on pics like this, because what we're talking about is the pattern, and the pattern of the jersey. And I'm gonna show one Rev30 where it's easily visible. Let's use this Timberwolves blank jersey from when Kevin Garnett came back. As you can see, and I hope this was covered in J-Mac's video too, but you can clearly see here are some bigger holes. Here is a stripe that goes all the way up, and here are some smaller holes. And this is the classic Rev30 pattern. You will find this on nearly every jersey. There are some exceptions, I'm gonna show them in a minute. For some reason the New Orleans Hornets jerseys, Rev30s, do not have this pattern. They are legit, and I remember when I bought this one, and when I got it I realized, oh damn, there is just no pattern, maybe it's fake. And then I looked it up, I looked at the pro cards, at the gamers. There is in fact no pattern, because later I also bought the blue one with mesh numbers, Anthony Davis, and no pattern either. So I have not seen another team, but the New Orleans Hornets Rev30s do not have a pattern. And that's interesting. So if you're gonna buy a Hornets jersey, you don't need to have this pattern. But every other jersey has this pattern. That's why the Kobe was fake, I could tell immediately. So yeah, only the Hornets, and well, they then changed to the Pelicans. The Pelicans have this pattern, but yeah, that's something super interesting. And if you guys want to see my full collection, go to Harvey Jerseys. I did 3 parts where I showed every jersey and talked a little bit about them. Now, enough with the Kobe. I just said I actually fell for some jerseys, and I'm gonna show them next. This is the Blake Griffin Rev30 that I bought last year, or at least I thought it was a Rev30. Nowadays it's easy for me to tell why it's fake, because first of all, look at the bottom, because the jersey is longer in the back, and Rev30s are a little bit longer in the back, but it's not like a swingman where the whole jersey is basically +2 in the back, or +1, I don't know, it's just longer in the back. Shouldn't be like that. Normal Rev30s, I'm gonna show it later, they have the same length, basically the same length. They are a bit longer around the middle part of the bottom half, but otherwise, you know, when I bought the jersey, the jog tag is perfect. It's like a replica of the jog tag. It has the pattern, and in the material, I'm gonna show it here, it even has mesh numbers. This is just super impressive, and that's why I thought it was legit. Like, who the hell makes fake mesh numbers and then puts them on a jersey? There is even the inside tag, which is correct, made in Thailand. Although there is something missing. Right here there should be some sort of, you know, XL, 2XL, the size should be there. I'm gonna try to show it real quick on my Hornets jersey. As you can see, there is basically it's the same, but it says XL +2. And every Rev30 has some sort of second tag where it says when it was made, and on the other side there is an Adidas QR code. I've never scanned these, but yeah, and then we have this Blake Griffin here. The XL is missing. Now, the QR code was not missing, it was just somewhere else. It was here. But again, back then I had no idea. I thought maybe, some of these were different, some of them had them other places. I've seen that on Reebok and Adidas. So again, I thought it was a legit jersey. On the back, the mesh number, I'm gonna show it closer. This is just like a super well done fake. This is one of the most impressive fakes I've seen, and that's why I fell for it. And then I had a KD, exactly the same, longer in the back, but the clear pattern, the pattern I was talking about earlier that the Kobe does not have, or did not have, the KD has it. You can see it here. Like, they even replicated this pattern. And here's the mesh number. And I think the release date even said 2010. There you go. Here's the Adidas QR code, again in the same place. And it says 710. Which means these jerseys, these fakes, probably came out before the actual Rev30s came out. That's super weird. Because how the hell did they get this before the jerseys even came out? I know they came out around maybe June 2010, summer of 2010. So you have the inside. This is basically a replica made in 1 month or in 2. They must have had some sort of samples from Adidas, and we're gonna talk about samples later. But look at this. I mean, it's not mesh. Nowadays I can tell. Nowadays it's easy for me to say, no, this is not legit. But back then I had no knowledge of Rev30s. Anyway, this has changed, so now we can come back to my jerseys. So we covered fakes. Next up, we got sleeved jerseys. I only have one sleeved, which is actually a team from Europe, Panathinaikos Athens, or Athene, I don't know how to say it, in Greece. Jersey is made by Adidas. Now again, there is no pattern. I don't know if this is the case for every stitched Rev30 or if just for this team. I've seen a Clippers one right now on eBay, but I'm not gonna buy it, because one thing I can tell you about sleeved Rev30s is you need to go at least one size up. These are super tight. This one is an XL, it barely fits me, and it says length plus mil. We're gonna talk about length in a minute. Let's just talk about sleeves. It's the same material, except for over here you have something, I guess, so that you don't sweat a lot in your armpits. It's different material over here as well. The team logo is stitched here in Europe. That's interesting, and the Adidas as well. And then on the back you have the Celtics logo. It's not the Celtics logo, it's just they use a similar logo, but again, no pattern. And yeah, this is a sleeved. This is how a sleeved Rev30 will look like, at least the European version. I'm pretty sure that the NBA versions are pretty much the same. Next up we got, I just talked about the length, because Rev30s come out in different lengths. I have here an Austin Rivers L, length plus nil, and then I have a King's Game Issue 2XL, length plus 4. So I don't know why these exist in so many different variations. Obviously for the players I can understand, the gamer, because they need different jerseys, you know, they are not the same size, everyone is different of course, but retailers, I don't know. Maybe what I can imagine is these jerseys were probably made for the Asian market, or you know, some areas where people in general are smaller, so they don't need to have length plus 2 or plus, because Rev30s are super long. It's another thing I'm gonna tell you. This one size L plus nil, it fits. I have another one XL plus nil. They are decent, although I am a fan of extra length. I don't like Mitchell and Ness, you know, making jerseys shorter and shorter. But as you can see, a 2XL length plus 4 is just super long. Plus 4 is basically too long for, let's say, the average adult. I'm like 6'1", and believe me, plus 4 is just too long. Now let's stick with purple jerseys, because the next thing we want to talk about is jerseys that are the same, basically, same design, same team. However, they were made in different years, so Rev30s evolved, I should say, changed. You can see over here is a PJ Tucker, and over here you see a blank. I'm gonna turn this into, I don't know, maybe Isaiah Thomas, different Booker maybe. This one was made 2013, this one 2014. So what's different? I mean, they look the same, right? And they somewhat are, but this one has a heat pressed NBA logo. It's not stitched. It's kinda like the current Nike. I would compare it, the same, probably the same material, something like that. Yeah, that's the Phoenix, and there is nothing on the back. And then the 2014 PJ Tucker has a stitched NBA logo and not a championship patch yet. I think they came out in 2015. I have some with championship patch, the Kings for example. But this one has a stitched NBA logo on the back, so that's something you're gonna see. Some teams will have the NBA logo. Actually all of them have them here at first, and then they will have it on the back. I don't know why Adidas changed it, but I don't mind it. You know, jerseys look clean without the logo. Interestingly enough, the Adidas logo was only on D-League jerseys. I can show that real quick because I forgot about it. I forgot that I have a D-League gamer, which is also Rev30. You can see the pattern, the mesh numbers. And this jersey has the Adidas logo. That's what I was gonna say. It is not stitched, but I guess they weren't allowed to use the Adidas logo in the NBA, because Champion didn't have it either, and Reebok neither, OG Nike neither, and something else about D-League jerseys. The Brady looks weird, but it's not, because this is standard D-League name. They use some sort of cloth, or I don't know, it's basically the same material, but they just put it over the jersey and then put the number on there and the name. Now, I know they did that in the 60s as well. The Julius Erving, no, the Wes Unseld is a jersey that's just like that. I don't know why, maybe because it's easier to keep jerseys or change them, because in D-League players move, players come and go. It's just, I don't know, less predictable, I guess. But let's stay with the same topic, because now we're talking about Washington. And you can see a John Wall twill. Unfortunately, it's been tailored a bit shorter. Not by me, but the previous owner. But I said Rev30s are super long, so it's not that bad. And then we have a 4XL plus 4, which is probably the biggest jersey I own. Like Rev30s, another thing we can talk about. Rev30s are basically slim. Even 3XL, 2XL, they are not comparable to Reeboks from back in the day when they were size 56. So yeah, I was scared of that too, but then I bought a 3XL and it kind of fits. It is wide, but not like, you're not gonna have any wings like the, I don't know, size 56. I have a Jermaine O'Neal here, and basically all this is unnecessary because it's so big. But yeah, let's compare these jerseys again. They look the same basically. The NBA logo, same spot, stitched, not stitched. Okay, but speaking of stitch, Washington jerseys are a big rip-off anyway, because nothing is stitched, to be fair. The logo is just glued on, I guess. So only the number would be stitched, but I can imagine if you wash this enough times, it will go off, which is a pain in the ass, because if you spend $350, that's what the price was, or $300 on a jersey, you're not expecting it to fall apart. However, the pros wore it like this, so obviously we shouldn't really complain. Now, something interesting about the Wizards is that you can see a difference here. The John Wall has a stripe on the left, the white stripe just like on the other side. However, the later edition does not have a stripe, so they changed the design. And you can see something I forgot to mention on the other side is that the Washington Wizards material changes as well. You can see the pattern, but here's just a stripe, and it's, I guess, similar material, but there are no holes. And same thing over here, except here there is no stripe on the back, so it starts all the way up here. And I don't know, this material is kind of weird. It's not bad, it still feels high quality, but I prefer the one with holes. So yeah, if anyone wants to buy a Wizards Rev30, I wouldn't do it, because it's just, I don't know, lack of quality, I guess. If you do buy them, make sure to not pay a lot, because I only paid maybe 100 for each. I have the white one as well, but the white one is the same. It's basically, you can see it here, nothing stitched, and different material as soon as you hit the stripe. Talking of Rev30 evolution, we can go all the way back to 2007, because that's the oldest Rev30 sample I have found. 2006, 2007, Tulsa 66ers. D-League, they had like Sean Livingston and Raymond Sessions back then, so it's interesting. But how do I know it's a Rev30? Well, you can see the pattern. And I guess Adidas used the D-League to try out some things, because if you look at the very first Rev30s from the All-Star Game 2009 and 10, they had a very similar neckline, and you can see it here already. The Adidas logo is not stitched, neither is the D-League logo. You can see some other things that didn't make the final cut, like over here there is a lot of shit going on. You have some sort of extra material with holes, you have some stripes, you have some thing going on here, and then you have the same thing as a Rev30, those 3 connecting stripes. But yeah, a lot of action going on this sample, and then on the back it's the same. I mean, it's the Rev30 pattern, but again, this jersey is from 06 or early 07, so that's when Adidas already started making or developing the Rev30s. And then what's more popular, or I think more people have seen, sample Rev30s, like this one. This is the Grizzlies from like 2009, because I'm just gonna show you, no jog tag, interesting, but over here you can see a sticker with all the information. April 4th, 2009, name, developer Katie Lineweaver, this is yours if you're watching this. What else? The color, the name, and yeah, Memphis later used these. However, first of all, this didn't make the final cut. Instead, there is the classic, I'm just gonna show it real quick, made in Thailand, and a letter for the size. What's cool about this jersey is look at the numbers. You can see the classic Memphis stripe. I'm talking about the white one. They did have these numbers before the Rev30s, the Iverson, Pau Gasol era, and who else was there? Jason Williams, even Marcus, or I don't know, but yeah. But if you look at the Rev30s that came out, no stripe, because the one that Vince Carter and others wore had mesh numbers without the stripe, just dark blue. On the back you see ABC, ABC, that's common for sample. I'm gonna show another one in a minute. But what's annoying about these samples is that everything is glued, like basically super glued. Very hard to remove. I'm gonna show the Boston one where I tried to remove it, but it's basically impossible, because would have been cool to turn these into like regular players. For example, this one 22 Rudy Gay or 44 Dante Cunningham, but I don't know, there is a solution, probably something like this. Cover it up, use another name, but I don't think Cunningham will be, it's too long, must be curved I guess. Or I use Rudy Gay, I don't know. Maybe I just put Memphis on the back too. It's better than ABC, ABC, which is annoying, but I guess they didn't want to sell them, or they didn't want to risk somebody leaking them. Then we have a Boston, number 22, also a sample, but this one even has mesh numbers. That's cool, because obviously the Boston didn't have these. I'm gonna try to find if there is some sort of inside tag. I don't think so, because obviously it's just a sample. There is no sticker or anything. There is, however, this little sign already with the size, and then on the back same logo as before. ABC, ABC. I tried removing the A, but as you can see there is a remainder and doesn't look good. Mesh numbers. I wanted to turn this into Isaiah Thomas. It would have been super amazing to remove 1-4, use the other one, put Thomas, and maybe even keep the 22, because he wore 22 at Sacramento. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Maybe I'll turn this into someone like Danny Ainge. I guess he wore 44 and 22 in his career, so again, better than ABC, ABC, which is, I don't know. I'm not comfortable wearing something like this with ABC, ABC on the back, but maybe it's just me. Now, only a few things left. First of all, we're gonna talk about the cut, because here is a Nate Robinson jersey, and you can see something interesting. This jersey does not have a cut in the middle, but instead here. So basically it's cut like this, and it's unique to say the least. Nate Robinson, love him, one of my favorite players. That's why I bought this jersey. But when you wear this one, I have the white one Boston as well in size L. It's kind of odd, because it's just random. Not here, but here, and it looks kind of weird. You have this little thing sticking out. There were teams which had a regular, like Houston. You can see the cut is right around the side of the jersey. And then you have other teams like the Wolves, where they have the same thing as the Celtics, just on the other side. It's basically the other way around. So you have this little thing on the back over here. It's not as bad. I've seen other teams where it's a bit worse, but that's the type of Rev30 that exists, basically, in terms of the cut. Only two things that I want to show. left. First of all, we're gonna have special releases like this one. This is the Brandon Roy. I think some of these, not all of them, were pro cut, like these ones. If they say 2 of 50, I think they are exactly the same size the player wore. They have this little 2010, 2011 thing here. I've seen others, I think they just don't say 2 out of 50, they have just this thing, and then they exist in every size. Because I've seen others without this one and in like small sizes where I'm thinking, no, the players didn't wear this. Because they're obviously much bigger, so how can they wear a size M or L? Yeah, but this one is obviously a Brandon Roy, mesh numbers. Now that's Portland is one of the few teams where the name on the back is double stitched. The other teams basically have single stitching. I'm gonna show the Nate Robinson. It's usually just one white layer. Portland, however, has 2. I have a red Aldridge where it's the same. I'm gonna show it real quick. You can see black and white. And then let's talk about another team that has actually double stitched name, John Wall. However, this is a Michelin Ness Rev30 and it sucks, to be honest. I'm super disappointed. The only good thing is that I paid only 115 because this is not mesh. This is cardboard. They try to pass it off as mesh, but it isn't. Definitely not mesh. Super hard, not flexible, and you can hear it scratching. It's same thing on the other side. And the Wizards, something that's not accurate either, is stitched. However, every other Rev30 has a heat pressed name, team name, yeah. So another thing how to spot the fake, because the Blake Griffin had a stitched team name and the Kevin Durant as well. That's another thing how I concluded it's fake, because let's look at the Wolves, not stitched. Look at the Kings, not stitched. Look at the Clippers, like you can already see it's not stitched. And then other teams as well, even the sample Boston, not stitched. What's left? Portland, not stitched. So Mitchell and Ness kinda messed that up, but I guess that's just Mitchell and Ness in a nutshell. Another thing they messed up is the length, of course. The Rev30s were much longer. This one is a 2XL and it's super wide, because the Rev30s I have in 2XL are much tighter. Another thing we can talk about, Rev30s exist in basically every size. I've seen a few in size S, these are super rare, but I think 6XL is the biggest one I've ever seen, and obviously there are some people who can wear it, but it's just super big. And the biggest player issued I've seen was Eddie Curry. Someone is selling a finals Eddie Curry jersey, game 1, and it's 5XL. So yeah, Eddie Curry was a big guy. And then last thing I'm going to talk about is international Rev30s, because something I discovered recently and it's super awesome is that Adidas also made Rev30s for international teams like France. Turkey is another one on the next side. You can see tag, but it's the same material, and that's awesome because they are super cheap. And in white I only have this one and this one, but I'm gonna show how much more I have. But you can see it's the same material, the same stitching, the same stripes. Of course everything is heat pressed, that's how they do in Europe. Even the Adidas and the Turkey logo, but it's still awesome in my opinion. Like, I paid 24 bucks for this. Maybe 23, I don't know. And for the France I paid 10. So that's why I'm saying it's awesome, because you can find these super cheap and they are Rev30s. Can nobody say anything else, you know? Same material, same pattern, same, you know, same thing. Heat press, sponsor, and You can put names on there actually. I'm gonna do that, and that's why I bought, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Turkey Rev30s in red, because I'm gonna put NBA players on the back, like Turkoglu, Cedi Osman, I don't know, Omar Ashik, who else was there? Enes Kanter, and there were a few others. As for France, I have the blue one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One is in size S, but I'm gonna sell it because it's too small for me. However, the blue one, same thing, the Rev30. And I'm gonna put some names up there as well, like Boris Diaw, Rudy Gobert, Nicolas Batum, Ayem Mahimi, Michael Petrus, and there are some others I'm just forgetting right now, but yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this very detailed review of Rev30s. Again, I go by the Young OG because of this guy, my favorite artist, fabulous. So, I have a Kenyon Martin, I also love him. If you have a Kenyon Martin jersey, hit me up. Okay, that's it, one love.
If you want to see more videos like this, let me know in the comments below and subscribe to my channel. See you next time.